Xavier Restrepo, a little bit of an older prospect, but incredible underneath weapon. I'm here with Wyatt at WyattB_FF on Twitter. We're going to dive into the film and the prospect and give you our thoughts. Now, Wyatt, I really struggle with these guys that are like really good separators, really good after the catch, but it's kind of a volume reliant position where it's like, yeah, they're good, but are they just a 4 catch for 40 yard kind of guy that is too good to drop but never good enough to get into your roster and just ends up being basically a roster clogger? Or do you see a bit of a high ceiling for someone like Restrepo?
I worry about players like Restrepo, the mold that he's in, where he's kind of built like a running back, works close to the line of scrimmage. That's probably the way he's going to be used in the NFL, is near the line of scrimmage. Yes, he can work well in that area of the field, and he's good after the catch, but those players don't seem to be all that valuable for teams and not really for fantasy. Like I think upside scenario for Restrepo is he's like Wan'Dale Robinson or something like that. And we didn't love Wan'Dale Robinson, for the many targets as he got. Didn't really mean anything for fantasy. He reminds me a little bit coming out of Sky Moore in a way, because they're short arms, like really short arms, which made them have to place close to the line of scrimmage. And they can't, if they're not separating enough, there's no way they're really going to be able to get a target their way, because the QB can't rely on them to use wingspan to throw around the defenders. The ball has to be close to the player, and if it is, that also means it's possible that the defender can get in on the ball easier because they're not able to reach out and pluck the ball out of the air. So this just profile in general is one that scares me when it's coming into the NFL, and one that I tend to just stay away from.
Yeah, I think, to further that point, which I think is a fantastic point, the other thing is the blocking side of the game. In the modern NFL, those slot receivers and the guys, those elite slot receivers that are on the field all the time are the guys who are willing to mix it up and kind of, throw their bodies on the line and blocking. You look at Amon St. Brown, you look at Prime Cooper Cup, they were really comfortable being at the point of attack. Xavier Restrepo, as you said, short arms, and I don't see it on film. I think he despite his build, I feel like he gets manhandled physically sometimes, and it does worry me that, okay, so we're saying he needs to play in the slot, he needs high volume to be able to be fantasy relevant because of the depth of target and probably the lack of touchdown equity.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that he's not going to be able to be on the field all the time, because I worry about his blocking, I worry about his physicality. So, yeah, it does concern me quite considerably. But before we dive into the numbers, though, if you want more on any of these prospects we are previewing, you can hit the join button down below, get a copy of my rookie guide. It is every single fantasy relevant player you will need, over 90 prospects written up, film review, all of my rookie model, rankings, and everything you'll need for your rookie drafts. So we're looking at the numbers now. As you can see, the other concern basically did nothing for 3 years. Now, yes, okay, there were some injuries. He didn't get on the field. And it's like, we're seeing a lot of prospects coming out with 3 years in college, and they've produced in that time. Xavier Restrepo basically only produced when he was older than everyone he was playing against. Does that kind of concern you, that later declare, late breakout, or do you think there's reasons as to why we could be okay with that in this situation?
I think in today's world, we have to be more open to players who produce later in the career, play longer in college, especially from this time period where, we had pandemic, NIL, all these different things that contribute to a player possibly producing later than earlier. Sometimes players take deals to go to teams, or commit to a team where they think they're going to have an opportunity, and turns out they don't have that opportunity, and things happen. The point is, with that said, looking at individual players, it does concern me for Restrepo. I don't think there was enough barrier for him to feel good about him producing late in his career. I do look at it in this case as a bad thing.
Yeah. It also concerns me a little bit he didn't test at the combine. I think if you're a superstar, fine. I get not testing, go and work out where it's comfortable, and you can kind of be that bit of a diva. I think when you're a guy that's maybe a third or fourth round pick, like if you're not testing, there's probably a reason why you're not testing, and that worries me.
Right.
I think at least run a 40 or something like that. So I do worry if he's going to be slightly less athletic than perhaps we hope, which could again ding him if we're looking at him as a slot only type.
For sure, definitely concerning.